It's a stick-up camera from Ring. So excuse the terrible intro. So yes, in this video we're looking at the Ring stick-up camera and the accompanying solar panel. So first up, a big thank you to Ring for providing these for review. Always appreciated when people are happy to kind of share their products for review to the channel. So I'll talk very briefly about why I'm interested in these particular products, and I think they're worth reviewing and sharing with you guys. So as you would have seen in the previous Ring related video, we have the standard Ring Doorbell. Really happy with how that performs. It continuously performs really well, much better than that crappy Skybell I had. And Ring has various products in their kind of product lineup that enables you to give you what they call that ring of security around your home. So we have doorbells, obviously they've got 3 of them all together now. We then have the Ring stick-up camera with the company solar panel, which we're going to talk about today. They also have a Ring security camera, which hopefully we'll get to look at in the future. And they also have a Ring chime and a Ring chime advanced, which we'll also look at as well. So let's focus right now on the Ring stick-up camera. So there's various cameras available for use inside your home. So we looked at the Canary before, so there's Nest, etc, etc. This is focused on being an outside camera. So obviously there are a few other people in the market that do this, but nobody that I've seen has this solar panel that can go with it as well. So lots of these products, same as the Ring stick-up camera, has a built-in battery in there that's going to enable it to work fully wirelessly for a period of time. Obviously we can't say it's going to last you 5 months or 6 months or 2 months or 2 weeks or whatever, because it's really going to depend on how much activity, so how often the camera is triggering, which says basically how long the battery's going to last. If it's not doing a lot and just kind of sat in standby in a way, obviously the battery's going to last longer. If it's put in a position where you have lots of motion, lots of activity, obviously the battery will drain quicker. So you have 2 options: either provide constant power to it. You could do that by a really long USB, micro USB cable, or you look at the solar panel solution. So I've been running this setup now for a couple of weeks, so I feel like I've got some good data to kind of talk about my experiences and whether I think it's good or not. But let's start off by looking at kind of what you get in the box. So you can either buy these as a bundle, or you can buy them independently. Altogether you're looking around £200. This is about £30–40. This is around the 160 mark. This camera is based upon the Gen 1 Ring Doorbell, so the doorbell I already have, except for you have a slightly better field of view. It does work really well. So it's HD. You have the ability to obviously talk and interact as well. Obviously not as useful as with a doorbell, but you can shout at whoever it is. Has the same lifetime guarantee, etc. Has the ability to do obviously the cloud recording if you have a subscription to that. There's motion detection, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and it is really easy to install. I really like the way that they've configured this for installation. Makes it really easy, and we'll look at that. And obviously it works with Android and Apple operating system. So yeah, and I think it also works with Windows phones as well, if you're still using one of those. So let's unbox and see what we have. So start off with the Ring Doorbell. As usual, very nice packaging, looks good. Then basically this slides off the top like so, and inside here we have it. We have the Ring Doorbell itself. So it looks very similar the Ring. This is the Ring stick-up camera. It looks very similar to the Ring Doorbell. The construction is very obviously looks almost identical, except for the camera is now protruding. Obviously, there's no button. On the back, you have 2 waterproof covered connectors. This one is like the pairing button, the orange pairing button. and this one is the micro USB. So obviously if you're not connecting it to power or to the solar panel power, obviously you want to keep those covered up so it doesn't get water ingress. If you're not using power, you can still use live view. Obviously again, it's perhaps just not as recommended because it's going to drain the power quicker. And you'll notice there's this kind of wavy format on the back of the stick-up camera, and this is to enable you to have 3 different mounting points depending on where you're trying to mount it. So that's really good, adds to the versatility. So if we look what else is in the box, you pull this little piece up here, and as we're now used to with Ring, they're provided literally everything you need. So you have a set of screws and raw plugs for mounting on the wall. You have a bolt that you can use to mount on the swivel arm, so you do that up. Here is the swivel arm itself. So it doesn't move up and down on the swivel arm itself. You obviously do this with the camera when it's mounted like so. You can see that. But it does swivel from side to side. So obviously you screw this in and mount it. Then you have, as we've come to expect, the spirit level here. There's also a spirit level on the other side. You may say, well, why do you have that? You basically have 2 choices in your mounting. I recommend using the removable mount. One, it makes it easier to mount, and also if you do have to charge the battery for some reason, you don't have to mess around doing screws. So I personally used this removable mount. So 4 screws bolted into the wall. You can get, obviously make sure you got it level, screw that on, and then this literally just pops and clips in like so. I found that to be really helpful because depending on where you're trying to put it, I try to put it in a relatively covert place so it's not super obvious. It makes mounting a lot easier because obviously if you've got the camera bolted on here, you can see, trying to get a screw in behind there is going to be very difficult. So I recommend using the removable mount, but obviously up to you. And obviously then when you use that, you put the camera back on and you just kind of pop it in there really simply. So that's fantastic. Then obviously we have the Ring little pocket screwdriver, where you have the Torx head bolt and the Phillips head bolt there. So again, everything you need. Also have the right size drill bit. So no kind of looking around to try and find that mystery drill bit, you just provide the drill. And finally, if we pick the rest of this up, underneath we have a really good length of USB to micro USB cable. So that's obviously for charging or providing some form of hard wire power if you want to. And you'll see it's got the little, I don't know if gasket's the right word, but a little rubber gasket piece on it, so that when you plug it in, this I guess is more of a boot. The rubber boot will fit up flush and stop any water ingress there. That's so far working really well. And obviously then just a standard small length micro USB charging cable, so if you need to plug it into the computer to charge, or if you have to do some offline, not over the air update, you can do that as well. Then we have the usual little booklets here, so what the Ring stick-up camera is all about, how to mount it, optional solar panel, etc, etc. And a couple of Ring stickers that you can obviously put in your window to tell everyone you've got Ring products. So yeah, that's basically the products themselves. We'll talk about just basically how super easy this is to set up. So as with the other Ring products, you want to plug it in to charge for a while. You'll see there's a little light on the back that lights up. It also kind of gets reflected on the front as well. It's very kind of stealthy, but you can see it. You want to really plug this in. I kind of left it overnight so it's fully charged before you do the installation. Turn it on, press and hold the orange button to start discovery on the app, and it's literally click, 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 click. Tell it where you're putting it. So my one I selected backyard, and then it's personal preference, you can edit and customize that as you like. Then choose obviously how you're going to mount it. So if you're mounting it I guess quite high up in the roof and you want to be able to really kind of angle it down, you want to use obviously the lowest mounting point. I've gone for a more conventional standard mount, so just in the middle. Or if you were kind of mounting it really high up, then obviously you'd want to, if you're kind of mounting it on a ceiling point or something, then you want to use the top one. So you've got lots of versatility in there. My recommendation is if you get 2 people, so one person can have the app whilst the other person messes around and tries out all the angles, because once you've mounted it, you have got a lot of ability to make some changes, but obviously you don't want to be going putting loads of holes in your walls. So that works really well in a super easy setup. So in all the time I've been using it, it loads up pretty quickly. Obviously depending where it's mounted and where your wireless access point is going to define the speed of how long it takes to load that screen, obviously the quality of the image. So obviously there's various things you can do. You could obviously change the position of the camera or your access point, or look at some form of extension like the Chime Advanced, which has wireless extender in it to give you more ability to have good streaming quality and good reaction speeds on the app. But I have no problem with it. So my only complaint, if I was to say I had one, is around the motion detection. So I was hoping it was going to have a similar setup as the Ring Doorbell Pro, where you can kind of draw the outline on the camera image of where you want motion detection to happen, but you can't. It's basically the same as the standard Ring Doorbell, which I guess in some ways, when I think about it, it's expected. I was just hoping to have a little bit more flexibility and customization on being very distinct about the motion detection, but instead you've kind of got that radar setup where you're kind of 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, etc. So just not as flexible, and I guess can feel a little bit more hit and miss with what it is you're configuring, but still no problem, still works really well. Motion alerts flag to me, no problem, both on the desktop and to the Apple app. One thing I do like about the desktop app actually is if I have that open, if motion is detected, the live view opens up automatically. So I really like that, that's really good. But no, really happy with this camera. I bought another one for myself. That's how much I like them. And I think I might get another one, or wait to see if I can get the stick-up security, the security camera to provide the final bit of coverage I'm looking for. So really, really good. So finally, let's just tidy up this mess a little bit and then look at the solar panel that accompanies this product. Okay, so on to the Ring solar panel. So like I said, the main idea of this is to provide some more constant power to the Ring stick-up camera. I've been using this almost from day one with my stick-up camera. I'm in the UK, so it's not super sunny very often. Obviously, right now is technically summer, so it's sunnier than normal. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how this works in the winter, and I'll provide an update then as well. But so far, every kind of early morning when I check the camera, it's at 100% pretty much all the time. So this is really doing a good job of providing the power to the camera. It actually, in a strange way, which I think is odd but kind of cool, is my stick-up camera, even though it has more motion detections than my doorbell, which is obviously powered from the transformer, the stick-up camera is at 100% more often than the doorbell, which is amazing. So this solar panel is really doing a fantastic job. So again, similar setup in terms of the boxing. Everything looks lovely. Let's get this open. Okay, let's just get through this little bit of plastic here. So when we open the box, look at that, it's a solar panel. So I guess as you'd expect, one solar panel, and again the box has all the things that you need in it. So again, we have another one of the screwdrivers with the Torx head on the other end, another drill bit, instruction manuals, no sticker this time because obviously this isn't the security product, it's an accessory to that. More screws, more raw plugs, and then the mount for the solar panel itself. So there's a slight indent in the top of this, and when we look on the back of the solar panel, it clearly shows you with an arrow which way you need to kind of slide it in, so that all makes perfect sense. You can either mount it, I guess what I call vertically or horizontal, so whatever works best for where you're trying to put it. And like I said, it works really well. Again, I like the fact that you can slide it on and off because it makes mounting and drilling the holes really easy. So again, if this is already mounted and you're trying to drill those holes, it's going to be difficult. So it's great to be able to take this on and off. It works really well. Like I said, so far I've had zero problems with this. It's providing a really good constant charge. Obviously only time will tell how durable these solar panels are up to weather. So some of the cheaper products I've used in the past, they kind of, I don't know if scorched is the right word, but they do get damaged by the sun and the plastic material fades, which obviously reduces the performance of the solar cells. But this looks like a good kind of sturdy and strong product. My only, it's not a complaint, more of a gripe, and again it depends on where and how you're using it, is you get a boatload of cable with this. So for me, when I was mounting the camera, you can see once I drilled the holes and put it in everything, I wanted to mount this very close to the camera. So you got all this bunched up cable you need to do something with. So some of the videos, actually I think you can see this on the back of the Ring box here, they obviously show a cable disappearing into the wall and coming out the back. So it looks very, very tidy, but then obviously you're drilling bigger holes to hide cables and stuff, and I'm not really interested in drilling more cables and then putting again a clump of cables on the inside wall, because that doesn't help anyone. So I guess if I could ask for anything, it would have kind of two options. And I know it's a bit tricky because you need a waterproof product, but I guess some short length cable that is installed as standard that would provide perhaps, I don't know, half a meter or something between the solar panel and the camera, and then this big huge cable in the box as well, and then you can plug it in if you need that additional length. So what I'm actually thinking about doing, so like I said, mine's been in place for a few weeks now and working fine. I think I might just chop this cable, put some heat shrink over it and then resolder it and put some electrical tape around there to make sure that no water can get in there, and just shorten the cable to the length that I need it, so I don't have this big bundled clump of cables over it. But now I really recommend both the stick-up camera, and if you are happy to have, you know, a solar panel on site on the wall. Obviously it doesn't look as stealthy or as nice as just a stick-up camera on its own, but that trade-off is obviously constant power source, assuming you've got some reasonable weather. It's not going to keep on taking it off to have to charge it, which again is going to be a pain. Even if you obviously haven't mounted it too high and you're using a quick release, still from time to time you have to go up the ladder, unmount it and do all that. So if you're looking for a wireless security camera that links all in with other tools that you're using, then I really can't recommend the Ring stick-up camera and solar panel enough. Like I said, I've already bought another one. I'm interested in getting another one on top of this. We'll do a follow-up video probably later in the winter when the weather gets worse to see, is it working well when we only have a few hours of, well, I was gonna say sunlight, I guess I mean daylight, because it's not always necessarily sunny, see if it's still working as well. But right now, the Ring stick-up camera, 2 thumbs up from me. Keep up the good work, Ring. Loving the products.
Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.